Hello everyone, my name is George Costafreda and I'll be going over the admin demonstration for the Patrol Shift Bid Scheduler version 1.0. So in this demo I'll be going over how to manage users, so you'll be able to add users to the database, be able to edit the user information. You'll also be able to manage schedules, so you can go and create a schedule, set it up, and eventually be able to open it up so that the users who are assigned to the schedule are able to make bids. And when the schedule is open and bids are coming in, you'll be able to monitor that bidding process. So you'll be able to see who has and who hasn't made a bid. You'll also be able to see the times that they picked, in addition to more information. You'll also be able to view the shift lineup. So for a given week, you should be able to see what officers, the days that they're working and the days that they're not. In addition, you'll be able to get staffing information or staffing alerts when when the week is understaffed. And that's about it. So let's get started with the demo. So I'm gonna open up a web browser, and I'm gonna visit localhost / SFSC, and it's gonna take me to the login page, and I'm gonna go ahead and log in as an admin, and I get redirected to the home page. What I'm gonna do now is visit the administration page, and from this administration page I'll be able to do a lot of things such as managing users and managing the schedules. So the first thing I'm going to demo is just being able to add users and be able to edit their information. So I'm going to click where it says modify user accounts in the sidebar. Now from here we get a list of users that have been added to the database in advance. We can go ahead and add a user to the database. So I'm going to do that by clicking on the green icon here. And we're just going to fill in these values. And I'm going to go ahead and add the user. And if we scroll down, we should be able to see the account that we created. So here's the account, 60@gmail.com, with my information. Now, if we can go ahead and edit the user information if we wanted to by visiting or clicking on this icon, and from here you'll be able to edit this information and be able to update the information in the database. So that about covers it for the users management page. It's very basic. So now I'm going to demo the creation and management of bid schedules. So I'm going to go ahead and in the sidebar where it says manage bid schedules, I'm going to go ahead and click there. In this page we can see some information about the schedules that we have added to the database. For now, all we're interested in is where it says create a bidding schedule. So we're going to go ahead and click that to create a schedule. So we're going to go ahead and give the schedule a name. I'm going to name this one Fall 2019. And I'm going to pick a start date. I'm going to make it April 28th. And it's also going to last for 3 months. So once I'm done, I'm going to click on where it says create, and let's create the schedule. We get a notification, and where it says recently created schedules for bidding, we can see that Fall 2019 appears here, and we have also an additional schedule. This one was just added to the database, but it doesn't have any content. It's just there for a placeholder. So now we're just going to click where it says Fall 2019. Where we're going to be able to set up the schedule. So from this page we can see some information about the schedule. We get the name, the start date, the end date that we just filled out. We get some information about the phase that it's in, or the state, which is the just created state. And in this state, the schedule just needs to be set up, and you can go about setting it up by following these instructions here, which just tell you to go through these steps. So we're just going to go through each one of the steps, and once we're done with all the steps, we'll be able to open the schedule for bidding. So let's go ahead and click where it says click here for step 1. It's going to redirect us to the subcategories creation page or management page. So here we can add the subcategories, and I'm going to do that by clicking on the green icon. So here we're going to input the title, which is just the position, like sergeant. And we can click or unclick to choose whether the subcategory counts towards staffing or not. I'm going to click add, and I'm also going to add another one, which is patrol officers. And I'm going to click counts towards staffing. I'm going to add it. And now we can move on to step 2 for the schedule. And for step 2, we need to assign the users to those subcategories. So I'm going to click where it says click here. Now we get a list here of all the subcategories that are in a database. We get information about whether or not they count towards staffing. And we can assign users to each one of the subcategories by clicking on one of these links. So I'm going to click add users to a subcategory to add users to the sergeant subcategory. So here we are in the assign users to subcategories page. We get a list of all the users that are in the database, and we can go and assign users one by one, or if you press control in a Windows environment or command in Mac, you can go ahead and select the multiple users. I'm just going to go ahead and select 2 for now, and I'm going to click where it says assign users to add them. So we can see that they've been added, and you'd be able to remove the users from the database. I'm going to go ahead and add 2 more patrol officers, or 2 more users to the patrol officers subcategory. So I'm just going to pick 2 users at random, and I'm going to assign them. And that's it for this step. I'm going to go back to the schedule and move on to step number 3. So I'm going to go ahead and click where it says click here. And in this page, we'll be able to pick the bidding order between subcategories. So if we set sergeants to 3 and patrol officers to 4, for example, first the sergeants would bid by order of seniority, and then when all the sergeants are done, it would be the patrol officers' turns to bid, again by seniority, and the process would repeat over and over again until all the subcategories that are in the schedule have made a bid. So we're just going to go ahead and click where it says update, and we get a notification, and now we can go back, and now we can move on to step number 5. So I'm going to go ahead and click where it says click here. In this page, we'll be able to create the time slots that users will eventually be able to make bids on. So I'm going to go ahead and make one right now. I'm going to click on the green icon, and here we'll be able to pick a time, the start time and the end time, the days off that would be offered by this time slot, the shift that it will belong to, and the subcategories that are allowed to bid on this time slot. So I'm just going to make this one 8 in the morning, and make it end at 11 a.m. This is just an example. I'm going to choose Sunday and Monday off. I'm going to make this for the A shift, and the subcategory is going to be for sergeant. I'm going to go ahead and add another one. at a random time. Doesn't really quite matter for these examples. I'm going to click add, and we can see that the data just keeps getting populated. I'm going to add two more, which is for the patrol officers that we assigned to the schedules earlier. There's one more. And that's about it. So now if we go back to manage bid schedules page and we visit the fall 2019 schedule, we have all the information that we need having followed the instructions. And once we're done, we can go, if we want to, we can click on I've completed all the steps, and we can open the schedule for bidding. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. So I went ahead and clicked on the button. It took some time to generate or change the state of the schedule. So now we can see here that the fall 2019 schedule got removed from the recently created schedules section to the open schedules for bidding section. So now that it's there, I'm going to go ahead and click on it so we can view more information. So now we see that when we click on the schedule, the view changes when we decide to manage the schedule. So we get information here. We can see that that schedule is open for bidding. We get some information here about the number of users that have made bids. The schedule name is a bit off. That needs to be fixed. Each row here in this table represents the user that's in the schedule, and he will be able to make a bid. Currently, when we triggered the schedule to open up, what it did is that it sent an email to the first person in the bidding list, and that in this case that is George Paez. So what he would do is he'd read the instructions from the email notification that he got, and he'd be able to make a bid. And I'll be covering over the bidding process from the user's perspective, from the user demo. What we currently have set up, which is a feature that would be implemented, or at least provide a link to what I'm about to show you, is the shift lineup. So if we go to the SFSC page, you see here a calendar form, and you'd be able to select a date, and whichever week that falls on for a schedule, you'd be able to view the shift lineup for that week. It's currently not working, but what we do have is an image of a mockup for the shift lineup. So here's the image. You can see the name of the schedule up here. You can view the shifts. So in this case, this is the A shift. You can view the subcategories and the officers assigned to those subcategories and the dates that they work and they don't work. So in this case, Heather Shree, she works on Sunday through Thursday, and she has Friday and Saturday off. And if we click on the next image, which would be if we were to scroll down, we get some notifications here in the staffings row. When it's red, that means that it's understaffed for the selected week, and when it's green, that means everything's fine. And yeah, that's about it for the shift lineup. So that about covers it for the admin demonstration. So to go over what we just did, we were able to manage users So we were able to add users to the database and edit their information. We were able to manage schedules. So we created a spring 2019 schedule, and we went ahead and followed the instructions to set up the schedule. And once the schedule was done, we went ahead and opened the schedule for bidding. And when the schedule was open for bidding, I went ahead and triggered the automatic email notification of the first person uh, in line uh, to be able to make a bid for the schedule. Um, we went over the being able to monitor the bidding process. So that was being able to see how many users have and have not made a bid. Um, you're able to see from the tables who has and who hasn't made a bid, and the time slots that they picked if they did make a bid. And then finally, we saw the shift lineup. So in the shift lineup, we were able to see what days uh, officers were going to be working for a given week for a selected schedule, and view an overview or of staffing information. And yep, that's about it. Thank you for your time. Bye bye.